So you want to learn more about calories, right? Well, the chances of you clicking on this video based on the title here, what are calories and how to count them correctly. I wanted to take like a brief moment to go into history about like my calorie system, what I've been doing, some different methods I've seen people do, and share some different insights that I think could be one of the 5 tips that I'm going to be sharing here in a few minutes. That you can probably try to apply if you're someone who wants to watch your calories and start counting calories yourself today. So a question that I have for you, although I'm not going to obviously hear you when you answer this, but just a question you can keep at least in the back of your mind is, how much about calories do you know? Would you say you're someone who is a beginner who just doesn't know anything about calories, or like how it works and how to like that might connect to your weight goals, whether that's gaining weight, losing weight, or maintaining your weight? Or would you say you're someone that's knowledgeable who might know a little bit about some calories and see some like in the back of boxes or like at restaurants or look them up online and maybe have a little bit of an insight, but yet don't know how that works when it comes to your weight goals, depending on whatever it is that you want to work on? Well, with that thought in the back of your mind, while you take a moment to think about that, I wanted to share briefly about how calories has been for me. And this is one of the biggest keys that helped me personally as far as my weight loss. And this is something that I'm still trying to apply for my weight goals that I'm still trying to work towards throughout this year of 2026. The funny thing about calories is that I was very new with calorie counting and I didn't even know how calories worked. If you're someone that is in that same boat, trust me, I was in that same boat too back in 2018 when I was like 18, almost 19 at the time, trying to go into my weight loss journey, because it all started off by working out what foods I was supposed to eat that would be good. Then it was only within 3 months of my weight loss journey back in 2018 is when I started learning a lot about calories and how that worked. I remember one day looking onto like different articles because I was really fascinated by the different health articles back in the day, right? Especially back when I was losing weight, and different methods you can do to lose weight and like different things that you can do and how weight loss kind of goes throughout the journey. And this is something that I've never really experienced, especially as such as a big weight loss that I've gone through, which in case anyone doesn't know, I used to be pretty obese. I actually used to weigh which is really embarrassing to say as I'm saying this online here, but I used to weigh up to over 250 pounds. I mean, you would be surprised. And there's a picture that might pop up right here, so you guys can see like a side by side of this is me before, this is me now. So it's just crazy that I was just such a newbie when it came to losing weight, because all I knew is that you had to eat healthy and you had to exercise and do all these other stuff that just seems so generic, but yet figuring out how to apply it is a whole nother level that I didn't even know. And this is something that, especially when it came to calories, that I was very new in, didn't know what would work for me. And it was a lot of experimentation when it came to my calories and how much to have, what is my range based on my weight, based on my height. Like, it's a lot of different things. You have a lot of calculations of anything, because a lot of it throughout the years I've learned about what serving sizes are. I used a lot of measuring cups. I still do to this day. I hold stands by that, because it's like you never want to underestimate or overestimate how much you're eating or putting into your body. And it's just like things like that. You just learn as you go. And this is something, again, I've been so used to doing since 2018. Now we're in 2026. So it's been over 7.5 years that I've been into calories, especially a lot when it came to that I'm just so used to it now. It's second nature to me. And so some of the things that I wanted to share that I've learned from my history when it came to calorie counting is definitely 5 different insights that I would like to share with you guys that maybe might help you guys as far as whichever 5 of these things you want to choose to do, or maybe do a balance of some of them but not all of them, because obviously there's a lot of different ways of calories that it just really depends on what works best for you and what's your style, what is your day-to-day life look like, because not everybody's days, schedules, and everything else is going to be the same. So whatever works preference for you, definitely create that for you. And so when it comes to like watching your calories and stuff like that, the first thing out of the 5 that I used to do a lot back when I was doing my first calorie counting is actually tracking it all down on an app, or you can use your planner in this case. But in this case for me, I actually used an app called MyFitnessPal, which is actually what I still use to this day. In fact, I just recently passed my 2,700-ish day streak. Throughout these years I've been doing calorie counting, it's something that I may have skipped some days here and there, but my streak is pretty much nearly the same. Like, I've been on it like it's the Bible. Like, I would go on it all the time write my numbers down because I'm just so used to it. And obviously, if you're someone who's starting off with calorie counting, let me tell you, it's a lot of logging and it might seem daunting at first when it comes to writing everything out, which I don't blame you. For some reason, I didn't feel like that. I mean, sometimes after years of doing this, I'm like, all right, I don't really feel like writing my numbers down. I don't want to see how much I ate when I know how much I ate and I really shouldn't have known how much I ate. It's sometimes it could be like looked as a shameful thing, but really it's not. If anything, it just gives you a broad idea of how much calories you really are having, and it gives you a mindset open awareness to realize how much you really are eating based on the meals, the times. Have a group of so many calories in the for breakfast, but yet you just don't break it up throughout the day. It just gives you a good overall broad sense of where your calories are really going throughout your day. So more so, it's a guidance. It's not more of a shameful thing, but it's definitely a guidance 1,000,000% when it comes to figuring out where your numbers are really going and what could be the possibility of why you're not gaining weight or losing weight or whatever it is you're trying to work towards. And so one of the methods, to go back to what I was sharing, is basically you can be someone who just writes your numbers down throughout the day and log everything down. And that's what I actually would really recommend. If you're somebody who's really new to calorie counting, I highly recommend just experimenting by writing everything that you eat throughout the day. Take it by the meal, take it by the week. Honestly, it's gonna be a lot to take in to think you have to write every single thing down, but honestly, you can make this so much simpler on yourself by not only remembering to write it in the moment, which is so much of a big key, because if you wait to write your calories at the end of the day, you're gonna forget where your numbers go, you know what I mean? So you want to make sure you write it in the moment, because if you don't, you're gonna forget that little slip up of a cookie you had there, or maybe this snack, anything like that, you know? So I want to make sure that you guys are aware to make sure to write your numbers down in the moment, or write it down on a planner or your phone for later. Although don't pile up all your calories to do it last minute. Really, I would suggest, especially if you're going to put this on your app, just write it on the app. Especially don't take the time to write it somewhere else and then have to write it again, you know? Just save yourself the extra time for that. By watching your numbers and where that goes throughout the day, it would just be get a good overall broad sense of where your calories are going, and just see how much you really are having for the day. Figure out how much you're eating, and then from there you can then open up to realize how much you need to have based on, honestly, really suggest going on a website to look online of your height and your weight and your gender to see how much calories you're supposed to have, and based on the activity of how much physical activity you do throughout your day-to-day. Another thing that I would suggest for my second tip that you could do for calories, and this is something that I did do for a while back at one point during my lowest weight actually, was to have little calories throughout the day except dinner, because through dinner time you can actually have a lot of calories. And if you're someone like that wants to go crazy and just save all your calories toward the end of the day, in a way it's almost like you're rewarding yourself. You're actually gonna have like a little calories throughout the morning for breakfast. Please eat breakfast, don't skip breakfast. You want to make sure to give yourself nutrients for the morning, and especially if you have it like a little bit throughout the morning, or even if you aim to have like up to like 600 calories, for instance, like what I did for your breakfast and lunch, and then save the rest for dinner. At least you feel like you're looking forward to having a big meal. Because if you think about it, if you have all your calories, so many calories in the beginning of the day, and you only have like a little calories towards the end of the night, I feel like you're just sabotaging yourself. And I would hate for you guys to go through that. So if anything, you kind of can see it that way, where you can reward yourself when it comes to your calories and how to make them be as a thing you can wait towards the night to have instead of having it during your day. A third tip that I would like to share to you guys is that as far as your calories, this is something that I would recommend after a while of doing calories, but again, this is not all in order. It's just different ideas that I kind of thrown out. And you guys can, of course, experiment with one of them or maybe a few of them, but definitely don't do them all. But something that I would recommend, though, is basically balancing out your calories throughout the meals. So if you want to have, for instance, 1,500 calories you're trying to eat in a day, which personally for me, what I'm doing right as of right now, which please don't copy me, do what works best for you, is to have 1,575 calories for my day. And what you can do is you can balance that out by dividing it by 4. So you can divide, let's just say it's about 1,600 calories. So you can have 400 calories for breakfast, 400 for lunch, 400 for dinner, and then 400 for snacks. If you want to do something like that, or you can try to change and tweak your numbers like that, you could totally honestly work whatever best preference for you and kind of stick towards that aim of how much calories you're supposed to have in that particular part of the day or meals, like if it's snacks, breakfast, lunch, or dinner kind of deal. And by balancing it out, at least you can kind of feel like you're equalizing your calories throughout the day if you want to do something like that. But again, you won't know this until you actually take the time to, again, all these tips, log your calories down, whether it's through an app, whether it's through a physical planner, or something that can help you personally as far as to you realizing where your calories are going and how much you really are having when you do take the time to actually look at your calories. Another thing you can do with your fourth tip, which honestly, please don't do this as your first tip, this is just a personal preference, and that is where you can go with the flow with whenever you feel hungry, then you can eat kind of deal. But at the same time, for me, my hunger cravings are just so out of whack. So I have to like force myself to wait to eat when it's time to eat. Don't just eat whenever, because I'm the type that eats mindlessly. So if you're someone like that, I wouldn't recommend this tip for you guys, because if you go with the flow with eating whenever you're hungry, you're gonna just kind of confuse your hunger cravings, and it's not something that I would recommend for you, just so that you can actually figure out those calories and where they're going. And unless if you're someone that doesn't eat enough, or if you're trying to go with spreading it out, I guess you can kind of do something like that. But again, going with the flow, it really would just depend if you have a lot of like self-discipline and control of knowing when to eat, if you truly are hungry. And make sure you actually are hungry and you're not just thirsty, because sometimes you would need to drink water in order to make that hunger go away when it comes to the thirst being confused by the hunger, if that makes sense. And then my fifth and final tip, which is actually the one that I'm currently using for this one, and you guys are able to do something similar like this if you want, but honestly, really wait until you do calorie counting after a while. Don't jump into guns like this, like what I'm doing, because this is coming from someone like me who's been doing calorie counting for at least 7.5 years. So don't jump in the guns like this when it comes to this goal. But this is someone who might know a little bit about calories. This is your kind of your ideal tip that I would recommend you guys can try out. And that is, you could actually do a mixture of calorie counting based on the calorie intake that you're supposed to have and a fast at the same time. I have made a video about this, actually, about intermittent fasting that I've actually been experimenting. I'll link it somewhere up above the screen here on the cards so you guys can check that out. What I've been trying to do is that for me, my fasting kind of just varies by the day. My schedule always changes all the time. So because of that, my fast goes between 11 to 19 hours. So within that range, that's when when I'm not fasting, I still watch my calories, because I don't want to just eat whatever I want and just binge eat, because it's defeating the purpose of you fasting if you're going to go over your calories, and you don't want to do that for yourself and feel like you're wasting your time with fasting. So that's why I would really recommend, especially if anyone who is actually trying to fast and experiment with that, I would recommend honestly taking a look at calorie counting on top of that, just so that your calories can be balanced out all throughout the time of you fasting and calorie counting, so at least you can make some sort of progress, because this is something that I've been experimenting and actually seeing this for myself. Really would recommend if you're someone who has been into calorie counting for some time. But at the end of the day, there really is no right or wrong when it comes to calorie counting, and this is again what works best for you. Definitely don't feel like you have to take these advices all by heart. Whatever helps you as far as your goal. And again, I honestly cannot highlight this enough. Please do make sure whenever you do calorie counting as a whole to check your numbers accurately and make sure it is to the top correct. Make sure your servings are correct. Make sure the numbers are pretty good and calculations correct. And if you don't know your numbers to the T exact, what I would recommend is that if you're someone like me who's trying to lose weight, make sure you overestimate your calories just a little bit, just so that you leave yourself maneuver room just in case that your calories aren't really that high, but you don't know. Make sure to aim for the higher number just to be on the better safe than sorry. But if you're someone who's trying to lose weight though, I would recommend just aiming on the lower side, where you want to make sure your numbers are, you don't want to overestimate thinking you're having a lot of calories when really you're having little calories. So you want to make sure you go lower on yourself, and same for if you're trying to gain weight, go higher on yourself, because it's better to go better safe than sorry. Don't overestimate yourself thinking that you're at this exact number if you're not entirely sure. If there's boxes that you see that have the calories that are on there, or if you're at a restaurant that you don't know what the calories are, even if you look it up online, if you're using an app like me, is honestly typing in generic food of what that item is, and then trying to make your best judgment to see what the calories might look like, or even use my Fitness Pal, which honestly has a great feature on this. I think this is for subscription people. I'm not entirely sure because I am subscribed. You can actually take a picture of your meal, and I don't know what other apps might have this out there. It might give you like a good judgment of what the number might be, but honestly, sometimes when you take the picture, make sure you take the picture in a way where it could actually see what the meal is, because sometimes when you take in the picture, it shows like it's, if I'm having a pizza, it might say it's a watermelon. It's like, wait, what? Like, how does that look like a watermelon? It's not like 60 calories for a pizza, even though that sounds wonderful. Things like that. You want to make sure you get your numbers right and make sure you make a good judgment as best as you can, especially if you're new to calorie counting. All of this honestly boils down to whatever it is you're wanting to work towards, whether it's gaining weight, losing weight, maintaining weight, gaining muscles, anything of that sort. I personally believe and stand by the fact that calorie counting, or whenever you're trying to work on your goals when it comes to weight, I still stand by the fact that calorie counting or calorie deficient of some kind is honestly the number one key when it comes to losing weight. I've even seen this research myself when going through these calorie counting different websites and things of that sort. It would say that 80% of losing weight, for instance, is by calories. So you have to see like where your calories are going, or having a calorie deficient of some kind. But 20% of losing weight is by exercise. So you can see food really overpowers exercise. So no matter how much you exercise, food is your resource, and food is what keeps you surviving. So you want to make sure you got your food intake right, so you get the right energy when you work out and have the right kind of calories going in, so you know you're making progress towards something. Even though it might be like daunting at first and stuff like that, just honestly take it by the day, take it by the meal, and just take your time if it does get a bit getting used to, because it can be a lot to figure out how much you gotta write, and it might be daunting and stuff. But again, coming from someone like me who was so new and who was pretty motivated to want to lose weight myself, I was open to honestly trying anything. And this is something, again, from really no experience. Nobody really taught me about calorie counting. This is all, again, by research by me throughout years of learning how that worked and stuff like that. That was ultimately how I did reach down to 100 pounds at my weight loss at one point, which unfortunately I did gain 30 of those pounds back, but I actually have been reaching towards that goal slowly to reaching down to my 100-pound goal again, which I'm really striving to be at, hopefully by this summer. So if something does happen, you guys will know for sure. But if anything, that's what I've been still trying to give more attention to as far as calories. Instead of letting it be like a lazy thing, I'm really taking it seriously. And you have to make sure, if you're wanting to work on your health, please take it seriously. And that means honestly your numbers. Make sure your numbers are right, make sure your calories are right, and whatever that may look like for outside of calories, really make sure you're taking your overall health seriously. But just really be mindful of what you're eating and be mindful of what you're putting in, and make sure that you really are taking care of your bodies, because our bodies are a temple of God, 1 Corinthians, I believe. And so, make sure you take care of those bodies, not just for us, but even for the Lord too. But other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. I really hope this helps you guys in any way, shape, or form when it comes to your health goals, again, whatever that may look like. And I hope you guys enjoy, because I actually had fun talking about my little calorie journey, and how I hope this helps benefit you guys as well if you guys are wanting to do calories, or just learn a little bit more about calories, how you can use calories to your benefit. If you guys enjoyed this and you had any insight or advice or comments you want to share about this, a like would definitely be very appreciated. Definitely comment below your thoughts and whatever goals you want to work on. I'm definitely be curious and open to hear what you guys have to say, and see if there's any way I can give you guys advice, especially if you have any questions and stuff like that. And as always, please give this a subscribe right around here on the screen here. And other than that, I will see you guys again soon. I hope you guys take care. Please be safe, take care of your bodies, and just know I believe in you and you got this. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day and or week whenever you watch this, and take care. Thank you guys, and God bless.